Affirmation 7. I will seek spiritual fruit.
Looking at this leaders' covenant, we'll see that we are being called as leaders to bear fruit. And the lesson that God has taught me over time is that the spiritual life that I've been called to, I cannot live it on my own. I need to learn how to abide in Christ in order to do that. In Galatians chapter 5, as the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control. I've been called to live this kind of life, but how can I? How can I love, for instance? 1 Corinthians chapter 13 says that love is patient, love is kind, love is good. If I look at myself, I've been Christian now for about 31 years, since 1990, and yet I'm still struggling to love the people around me, to love my wife, to love my children, to love my students, my staff. So if I will not depend on Christ, there is no way I can love. God has called us as leaders to live this kind of life and also to model that kind of life to the people that we are leading. For instance, I work in a mission training school where I have to model Christ. I have to represent Christ to the people I'm leading every day. They need to see the love of Christ, the joy of Christ, the peace of Christ in my life so that they can learn how to live the Christian life. But many times when I look at the people I'm leading, I discover that, sometimes the life they live, I'm not pleased with it. Sometimes when I watch them do certain things, I'm wondering, is it that what I'm teaching them, they are not understanding it, or what could be going on? And then the Lord will quickly remind me that I cannot do that on my own. They cannot change just simply because I'm teaching them or just simply because I'm praying for them. I need to leave the result to Him. People changing, people being transformed and to be like Christ, it's completely up to God, up to Christ. He's the only one that can change people. I can't change people. And I'm praying every day that the Lord will help me to be able to live dependently on Him, to be able to just trust Him absolutely. When you look at Jesus Christ, when He was here, Jesus lived, He modeled for me how to live my Christian life. He lived a life of dependence on God 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Many times Jesus would go alone to the mountain to pray, to ask the Father for wisdom, for grace. Jesus never wanted to do ministry on His own. Many times He would say, I cannot do anything of myself. I don't have any power of my own. I only do what I see my Father doing. So Jesus is the only one who lived perfectly dependently on God. And He has shown me how to live. If I'm going to bear fruit of love, of joy, of peace, I have to learn how to live dependently on God every day. I have to study my Bible. I have to pray. I have to spend time with God in prayer. I have to receive His mind. I have to know His will for my life and for the life of the people I'm leading and I'm training.
I'm born into leadership and leadership development, and God have given me a life mandate of equipping leaders. And it has been important for me that I'm even born into a family business and have been into scouting and other kind of leadership situations through my life. And also in business, I have learned about leadership. And there they are talking about the results. But I soon learned that in the kingdom, it's more about fruit, because fruit is deeper and the fruit is coming from inside and out. And the key passage for me through the years has been the legacy that Jesus left in John 13 to 17. And in midst of that legacy, we read John 15, where Jesus talks about the true vine. And He said that the branches bear fruit and bear more fruit when it's pruned. And it says that if a man remains in me and I in him, I will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. And the last part of the passage there, it also says, I appointed you to go and bear fruit that will last. So it's both a fruit growing from inside out, and we are also challenged to go out and bear fruit. And for me, it has been in leadership development that we could read about, for instance, in 2 Timothy 2:2, that Paul says that the things you have heard from me is saying in the presence of many witnesses, and trust that the reliable men who will also be qualified to teach others. So it's not like in the business, a clear-cut results. It's talking about deep growth and growth that will last for generations. And that's something that more and more motivates me, and I find it very, very fulfilling as to my life mandate. And I have made up my mind that I will not finish that as a mentor and as a leader and as other kind of situations, to go for that the rest of the life.
I am chosen to bear fruit. Jesus taught and modeled that spiritual fruit comes from abiding in Him. I acknowledge that I cannot manipulate spiritual results or spiritual changes in the lives of people by means of my human wisdom or self-generated pressures. My role is to faithfully give myself to people through my gifts and calling and leave the results to God. My heart is to follow Jesus in His ways, walk in the Spirit, and abide in Him so that He works through me to bear much fruit for His glory. What is the difference between spiritual fruit and fruit based on human wisdom or self-generated pressures? How could my hard work in ministry possibly hinder spiritual fruit? What will happen to fleshly fruit? What does abiding in Him and intimacy with Jesus mean to me? In what ways am I giving myself to people? What is the Lord asking me to do from this affirmation?